Christina. How are ya?
Hey, Lisa, good. It seems like forever.
It really does seem like forever. It's been a long time since we've had the chance to chat.
It has been a
Did you
little
have
while.
a good European vacation?
Had a lovely time. I mean, really, I'm just so happy and grateful that I had that chance to get over to Europe for a couple of weeks. And yeah, it was
Good.
awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
so glad.
good.
Well, I am exhausted because I've
I
been
bet.
editing for the last, I don't know how many hours to try to prepare a little surprise for you. Because while you were away, I got to thinking, well, wouldn't it be kind of fun? We celebrate all these bakers on all these different baking shows, but there are so many talented bakers who have not yet had the chance to be on a show. And we know that they have so much talent and such personality and so much drive and ambition. And so I thought it was time for us to showcase a few of them. And so, you like that
Love
idea?
the idea. I
Oh,
love
thank
this
you.
idea. That's so cool.
Awesome. I recruited Steven to help me. And he did a bang up job. So it was so much fun. We talked to seven different bakers who have not yet gotten onto baking shows, but who are ever hopeful. And I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm excited to show it to you.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see.
Ironically, I'm calling it While We Wait.
Well, there you go. What a great segue.
I think so too. Okay, watch it. Tell me if you like it, and everyone else too. Did the process of applying for a baking show change how you saw yourself as a baker?
I think constantly getting rejected did.
I think I've just been a lot more sure in what I like to bake and just like who I am as a baker.
I just want to try broaden my repertoire of things that I bake and like, oh, okay, I should try this, or I want to try this, or I'm motivated to try this, like that kind of thing.
I haven't changed as a baker, but the more I do it, the more I love it.
How many times did you actually apply?
Well, okay, I sent in my first application when I had literally been baking for 3 months. And then the next season, they reached out. And so I think it was 3 times.
And then you
Oh, I went to farm school.
farm school, that's what it was.
Farm school.
Oh,
Yeah. So then it was like I said, "Are you applying this year?" And
I
she's
did
like,
apply that year, actually.
"You did?
I
Okay."
did.
You weren't scared you might get in.
I know. It's so funny. I mean, I also, one season I was applying like I was also in almost got on the Great Chocolate Showdown. But yeah, it's funny to think now, like what a priority it was for me to like get on the show. Cause I was like, well, I can't, what if I get cast on the baking show? I can't possibly do anything else with my life. And now I'm like, I have a baby. Best thing I ever baked. I will say I was, so I took my pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant while I was baking a pie for a pie contest. Don't ask me why I chose that moment. I'm like in the middle of literally in the middle of making pie dough, which, as you know, is a very time sensitive art.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take a pregnancy test, just get it out of the way. And then it came back positive, and then I kept like just walking from the kitchen to the bathroom, being like, but what is, and it keeps getting darker. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of screwed up my pie crust, but I still won the pie competition.
That's impressive.
I mean, by the end, like the last time I applied and didn't wasn't accepted, and then I was in farm school, and then I just like think the world had opened up again, and I actually started baking for other people besides like making my nephew's birthday cakes or whatever. And that kind of like gave me a new love for baking. Like I wasn't just doing it to get on the show or to like, it's weird because like the first things I ever taught myself how to do were like really complicated and difficult, like mousse cakes and tempering chocolate. I just went straight to all the hard stuff, and I like skipped like cookies and pies, and they're still the hardest thing for me. I never made a pie I'm 100% happy with.
And so you decided to enter a pie contest?
Yeah. I had judged the contest the year before, and that's why I was like, oh, I can win this thing.
Because you knew the
Not
caliber.
nearly as hard on themselves as I am. So I baked everybody's birthday cakes that had a birthday, and Oh, and then we like took part in the farmers market, which was really cool, which I was really into because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to sell my stuff at farmers market. That's really excited me. So I did that and I made every week I would make two chocolate zucchini cakes. And so I ended this program in 2023. And every year the person that runs it contacts me and was like, everyone's asking about your cake. They come up to the stand every week. They're like, where's the cake? I'm like, that was 2 years ago, bro. Sorry.
You're done. I've moved on.
House.
Now I win pie contests.
Yeah, so I would that was really fun. So I was making yeah, cakes and I made like beet macarons and things like that for the market and that was really fun. And then I applied to be in the market the following year and was accepted, but then I never did it because I got pregnant and I was really tired.
Mm.
But it's different now because I'm like, okay, what is actually practical? So I finally decided that this is the year I do sourdough. Making bread, like there's a lot of breaks, which is great
Mhm.
when you have a baby.
Yes.
That's
And
true. Yeah.
sourdough is a useful thing to have around. So I've had actually a lot of success this month making sourdough, which is great. And then I almost burnt the kitchen down like a week ago because I'm tired. So we're taking a break.
Baking sourdough?
Yeah, I did this thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this or done this before. I had done it where like you put rice in the bottom of your Dutch oven underneath
The parchment paper.
to stop it from burning.
Really?
Yeah, so I had done it once and it worked a little bit, but I had did it like I added the rice right before I added the bread. This time, because I'm sleep deprived, I added the rice right as I started preheating it. So it was in a 500-degree oven for an hour and then completely burned and turned to charcoal. And then like the fire alarm went off and the whole house was smoky. And I'm still getting into the flow of things. But I'm so excited to bake with her. But yeah, it changes things. I'm like, you just like, what is actually going to enrich my life and the life of my loved ones? Like you
Mhm.
can make cookies really interesting. You can make bread really interesting and you can I don't know. There's something about perfecting like the simple baked goods in a really like special way that just feels like I feel it's like I'm salt of the earth and I know my way around a kitchen. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I've made some like mirror glazed cakes and all this stuff, but I'm like, I don't really remember how I did it. And if like, it's like that's not something you're gonna do every single week. And if I think the difference for me now is like I went from being like, okay, I have to make the most impressive thing that anyone has ever seen to really integrating it into my life in a meaningful way and like for my loved ones and my family. And that made me like once I kind of had that switch in mentality, I felt like, okay, I'm a real baker now. I'm not just like an artist playing with flour and sugar and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you've got
Oh.
a very special birthday cake to make in a few months.
I know.
Mhm.
And she looks like a little gnome. So I'm like, is it Hobbit themed? Is it like, what are we doing? Are we doing like a woodland creature theme?
What would you say to somebody who would want to apply to a baking show but feels intimidated?
Um, well, obviously you should do it and see it as like, a learning experience, a reason to practice baking, like a reason, like yeah, it's and a way to connect yourself. I've never been on the show, but I feel like I know like so many of the contestants because I always, reach out and say congrats and you know, bakers are you just all want to nerd out on like baking. It's
Mhm.
exciting, it's fun and like even though I've not been on the show, it's like this obsession with the show has enriched my life in so many ways. Like even whether it's making new friends and like meeting some of the bakers in real life or like just baking along with the show or getting like inspiration. Like I just love to be inspired by other bakers is so great. And yeah, just treat it like that and try not to get too stressed out and too like married to the outcome because you can't control that. But applying it is always fun, and all the producers are nice and have a great time.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I've applied since season 5.
Nice. It's crazy. I can't believe we keep doing it to ourselves.
I know, right?
What first made you think you could be on a baking show?
um, honestly, it was Jay from season 3.
Oh.
Yeah. So I know Jay. He's actually
Okay.
one of the founders of my rugby team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I started baking during the pandemic, he was the one who basically just pushed me. He's like, do it, apply. just do it. I'm like, and I was like, maybe not. And then I did. And then I kind of like, I just caught that bug and have kept doing
Just kept
it.
going
Yeah.
time and time again.
The first one wasn't bad because I I was still really new. Like I really didn't do much baking until yeah, like 2020. So hadn't been doing it for too long, so I wasn't like super shocked
Hmm.
about it. I'd still like chatted with a casting producer then for my first time, so I was actually really happy with even just getting past just the initial application was like really super cool.
Yeah.
But like I wasn't super bummed because like my whole mindset the first time and this time it's 10 people get on,
Hmm.
and I'm past the point of like, oh, I'm a bad baker. No.
Yeah.
Everyone's a good baker at a certain point. They're just casting people.
Hmm.
So I'm
Hmm.
just so
Exactly.
like you just can't be upset if you don't make it because it's like 10 people out of hundreds, if not 1,000 people
Yeah.
who apply. So
Yeah. And especially since COVID has gotten so much more popular, all the baking shows have
yeah.
become so much more popular.
Oh, for sure.
What was the hardest part for you of applying or auditioning?
Probably the open audition last year, just driving from Ottawa to Toronto. It was my fifth time applying and I finally got to the bake along. So I was super happy about that. Um, but it was very much like a Murphy's Law situation. Like when I actually did it, like everything went wrong during it. Like all my practice bakes went fine, but then when everything was happening with the producers, just no,
Oh man.
everything wanted to go wrong, and I'm like, "Ah, of course, which is really tough because like I can like look at like literally with the past week before that, like I made this cake. I made it 2, 3 times, I think, beforehand, and everything worked out great in time. Everything, I was like super happy, super excited. And then just the day of, it was a disaster.
Oh man. Oh, that's
That's
so
hard.
upsetting.
Like I found like actually talking with like that's fine. Like
That's
that
good.
actually put me at ease, like actually chatting with the producers. It was just the actual baking at that point. I was like, oh no. Because like
Oh.
once stuff just snowballs and you're like, oh,
Mhm.
and there's no like when you have that last half hour, you're like, oh, I can't bake a new cake in a half hour.
Yeah. Well, did you get it finished? Did you have something to present?
There was something presented. There might have been a towel still attached to it, but something was presented. I'm good at what I do. I'm very
Yeah.
good and I'm very happy with what I produce. Especially during like the application process, it's I find like for me it's like trying to have that fine line in between what I want to do, but then also at the same time kind of ticking those boxes in my head like what do I think they want to see? Like what
Hmm.
do the producers want to see? So I always find I find like there's this fine line of like am I doing too much? Am I doing not enough?
Yeah.
Because like I've had times when I've done like open auditions and I've made stuff and like the past contestants like, oh, this was amazing, like this tasted great, but then I didn't hear anything from the
Hmm.
producer. So I'm like, oh crap, did something go wrong? Did I not like tick enough of those boxes that like they were looking for? Um and then like or did I overcomplicate something and something didn't go right and that I didn't realize until like after the fact. So
And I have no idea what they're even looking for.
Even
Or
now.
even being, yeah, not a clue. I mean, my feeling was always like do more than I would expect,
mhm.
right? To sh like you said, to show techniques, so that they know that you know what you're doing, but always bake for me.
Yeah.
That was for me. That was always my because that's the person who I'm baking for, right? Is me.
Hmm.
When we start, there was it's an old Genesis song from the Duke album where the protagonist started making songs. They became big, and then they decided to make songs they thought the audience wanted, and that was when they had their great fall.
Mhm.
Yeah. When we're watching the shows that we see on TV with these bakers, what do we fall in love with? The bakes or the bakers, right? That's when, hey, look at me, revelation. I'm suddenly like, oh, if they like me, they're gonna like what I'm baking. Well, maybe not. But what keeps you baking? Even with it, did you have something to say, Stephen? Sorry.
I was going to ask what actually the predecessor question to what you were going to ask is
Yeah,
what got you into baking?
there we go.
What started you off?
um pandemic. I like I was watching Great Canadian Baking Show, Great British Bake Off, everything on YouTube, like, and I'm just like, "Ah, I gotta actually get off the couch." So
Didn't
like,
we all?
right? Like
Not me. I'm a nurse. I was
fair,
never on the couch.
fair.
I wish I had been.
But yeah, like that's where I like, because like I baked growing up here and there, but it wasn't like something that I did all the time. But yeah, it was very much like I proudly say I'm a pandemic baker.
Proudly. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Because I say
That's,
you have the two you have your two types of bakers. I find like you have your pandemic bakers and you have your my grandma taught me.
mhm. Yeah, it's so true. You really do have
Yeah.
those two types. Or the ones that are inspired by the baking shows, at any point in
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
my grandmother would be shocked if she was alive and knew I baked.
Yeah.
You?
Well, you had a good reason for baking. You just wanted to introduce your wife to Dan Levy.
It
Yeah.
was as good a reason as any.
Never happened.
No. One day.
One day.
One day.
All right. So what keeps you baking even without being on one of these shows?
um hey, I first of all, I just love desserts. I'll always eat a dessert.
Valid.
Right? I just I'm not a creative person, so it is like my only creative outlet to like to actually like make something nice. It was one of those things where like when I started doing it, people were like, "Oh, you're like this is like nice looking like stuff that you're making." And it's one of those things that like I just like to keep pushing myself, and I'm always one like I always want to challenge myself. So it's just one of those things where like, "Oh, that looks interesting. I want to try this," and then like also just share everything.
Yeah.
I'm in my rugby team, I'm the one that will always just like bring snacks.
Do you think that the reason that you would want to be on a show is to have that sense of community and nerding out with other bakers, or would it be to challenge yourself, or what would your reason be?
It's a bit of both. Like it's funny, like even though like applying so many times and not being on the show, but like I still feel like there is that community. Well, I mean, well, look at this. You messaged me last night
Yeah.
to do this. And it was funny because like we've been chatting again for years, but this is actually the
Mhm.
first time we were like actually
I know.
speaking.
It's
But
like,
it's
oh,
like,
hi.
yeah, right. Like there, like I find like it's such a small but like close-knit community. And like and it's funny because like I'm friends with somebody who was on the Australian Bake Off as well. Like it's again like you just like pick up these people from online that you just like make these
Yeah.
connections with, and I think it's super cool. But then at the same time, yeah, I do want to challenge myself because like again, as like I know what I'm good at, but I always want to be like, well, you have to be super well rounded and actually try these new things. So again, I want to have that opportunity because I do need a kick in the butt sometimes to do things like that to be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that. So if it's like, no, you have to, like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's like you get on the show and they're like, okay, so we're gonna make this thing you've never ever heard of before with
Right.
16 different techniques that you probably haven't practiced,
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah. And more every year.
Yeah.
Well, because they're running out of things to do.
We've baked all the things. We're making it.
Yeah.
It's so true. All right, what would you say to someone who wants to apply for a baking show but feels intimidated?
Do it. Just do it. I'll be Nike here. Just do it. Because really, what's the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no, or they're
Mhm.
not even going to say anything, and that's totally okay. And like, if you have that mindset where like there's only going to be 10 people, a dozen people, depending on the show,
Mhm.
that's like it kind of is just freeing, and you're like, just have fun.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fun thing. Like, and if you get on, that's amazing. But again, I wouldn't have this baking community if it wasn't for me applying for these shows. So like that's super cool, and that's something that I would never like if I never make it on the show. Like I still have these friends all over Canada
Yeah.
that I get to nerd out about baking. Like as you said, like I get to just nerd out and talk about
Yeah.
baking, which is really really cool.
And we have Carmen in the waiting room.
Carmen, like Carmen
Yes.
Miranda.
Yeah, except her name is not Carmen Miranda, it's Carmen
Right.
Chu.
But if she has like a whole head full of fruit, then we'll know. The fan. I won't
Don't.
mention it unless I see it.
Is this the first time that you have applied?
Yeah,
Ooh,
and it was very last minute. I saw it in a Facebook ad, I think Thursday or Friday, and auditions were Tuesday.
Tuesday? Yeah.
So
Wow. So what made you think, hey, I could do this? I could be on a baking show.
I I I still don't know.
That's very brave of you. How long have you been baking?
Um, as long as I can remember, really. Yeah, I know the producer who I don't remember her name that did like the on-screen interview, and she asked, she's like, "Yeah, how did you get started baking?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm Gen X. I was left home alone a lot."
It's true, the latchkey kids probably really know how to bake, right?
Yep. It was part boredom, part I had to feed myself.
So what did you bring to the audition?
Apple pie.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice and
It's
cozy, homey.
it's a staple. It's a go-to.
And if you can do an apple pie really well, then they know you can bake.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I had mixed feelings about that, like, is it enough? Is it going to be showy enough? I didn't have a lot of time to prep, but I kind of figured pie, it's going to stand on its own. You can't fake it. You
That's
can't
true.
buy anything. You either you nailed it or you didn't, and
hmm
so
How did you feel about your pie?
good.
Good. That's awesome.
I've made a lot of apple pies, so I was feeling okay with the pie.
That's
Is it an
great.
all butter crust?
All butter.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
almost like a shortbread.
Really?
Oh,
That
Yeah,
sounds good.
it does sound good.
it's good.
So for you, Carmen, what was the hardest part of applying or auditioning?
Um, I think I mean, it happened so quickly and I didn't have a lot of time to overthink it.
Which is great.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was just the nerves and feeling like, did I do enough to be here? Especially once I got there and saw some of these really complicated and amazing desserts that other people made, and I was like, oh, and I just showed up with pie.
I think that shows confidence.
Yeah, hope it does.
So what surprised you most about the experience?
I mean, I wasn't surprised everybody was really lovely because I've seen the show and I've seen just the kind of the people that it would attract, right? Like
Mhm.
it's not catty, it's not backstabbing, it's not so, I anticipated everybody auditioning would be really lovely and they were, and everybody that worked for the show that was there was really great. So I guess it just surprised me that like it wasn't as like anxiety inducing as I was worried it would be on my like drive there that morning. And I
Mhm.
got there and it was just like, okay, like everybody's chill. This is easy. I know where to go. Like, yeah.
Yeah, just sitting in a room for however long, waiting until it's your turn to go in and
It was a long day. It was a long day of waiting, that's for sure. Like it really wasn't until the end when we got into that last hallway where the two rows were facing in, and
yeah.
everybody started chatting and, what do you do and what did you bring? And I was kind of sad that it took all day to sort of get there.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes there's that opportunity and people start chatting and make new friends and people that stay friends forever. I'm still friends on Instagram with the people that I had my first audition with in
Aw.
2018,
Okay.
2019. Must have been 2019. Yeah, and we still chat every once in a while. She's gonna come and chat on this podcast, which is pretty cool, like when you get to chat with people that really share the same passions that you do, that's pretty awesome. So,
Mhm.
would you say you're passionate about baking?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much as I would like.
Yeah. Well, you have a job, you have a life.
Yeah, life
Busy.
gets in the way. COVID, COVID was fun because I got to do a lot of baking and I did a lot of baking with my daughter. So I enjoyed that a lot. And then once life kicked back in, don't have quite as much time for it, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy it a lot.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So what keeps you baking even without being on a baking show?
It's kind of my love language. Like if I've ever been invited to your home, I've probably brought food, probably brought dessert.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me baking is like I like to cook for my friends and family.
Yeah. Do you make,
And kids' birthdays,
I
maybe
was
some
gonna ask, do you
cakes
make your
and
kids' birthday cakes? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Besides the apple pie, what would be your specialty?
I make ginger cookies only at Christmas, ever at Christmas. And everybody waits all year for them. And this year for work, I had done up like these recipe cards to give to clients, and my daughter was really upset about it. She's like,
Really?
you can't just give the recipe out. I was like, I'm not gonna gatekeep this recipe. Like they're really good cookies. I'm gonna share them with the world. I like doing, well, I have friends that can't eat gluten, so cheesecake became a staple,
Mhm.
different types of cheesecakes. Um, my daughter and I, we did like profiteroles and um, millefeuille.
Yeah.
And because I grew my family's from France, so I'm first gen here, and I grew up on these types of desserts. So it was fun to make them. And my grandma, she passed away, oh, probably about 10 years ago. But I have her Madeleine tins, and she brought them over from France back in the 60s. And
Wow.
then I had a recipe book of hers, and I had never really gone through it. And I was looking for a Madeleine recipe, and I'm like, oh, there's got to be one in here. And I opened it up, and she had like handwritten notes on her Madeleine recipes. So,
I love that.
Beautiful.
yeah, so
I love how, yeah, it's that connection between generations and like you can just picture her making her little notes with like no idea that
mhm.
one day you were gonna
Yeah,
find them and utilize them and think of her. Oh,
yeah. And then
and
like
tell
with
the
my
story.
daughter, so like that's her great granddaughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so lovely. I just love how baking is such a love language, in so
Yeah.
many different ways.
Absolutely. Not just because it's, our memories are stimulated by the things we eat, but even the smells, right? You can
Mhm.
smell something and it brings you right back to a moment in time, and quite often a person, and usually a loved one. And food smells good, baking smells better. It's
Yeah.
much more there's something about it, right?
Yeah.
Fresh baked bread.
Hmm.
That's just it's a cozy feeling, that smell, except for my wife who doesn't like the smell of fresh baked bread in the morning. She doesn't
Some
mind
things.
fresh baked bread, but don't do it while she's sleeping.
Oh, what?
Right? Right?
That's well, that's
Yeah, I know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe you need
If
to
I bake
unpack
bread too
that.
early, I'm like, but it's gonna be ready when you wake up.
Do you want to go grab her? Stacy, we need to have a therapy session
Yeah.
here.
But
Fresh
generally,
baked
yes.
bread, that's the best smell in the
Yeah.
world.
Huh.
Oh,
Huh.
I
Huh.
love that. I love that. Oh, well. Okay, so what would you say to someone who wants to apply to a baking show but feels intimidated?
Oh, yeah, just do it. Like it it wasn't intimidating and it wasn't scary. And like even from like I thought it would be. I pushed myself into it, but yeah, like it was a great experience, and I'm really glad that I did push myself to go way out of my comfort zone. And yeah, if nothing else comes from it, at least I did that, and I have this experience that I never otherwise would have had. So
That's so awesome. I
I
love
would
it.
say, yeah, absolutely, just do it.
Just go for it.
What's the
Perfect.
worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna end up on a baking show.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Then the work begins.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Thank you
And
so much for
Stephen,
having me. This is like a dream.
is it? Oh, yikes. This is a night. No, it's not a
It's
nightmare.
early yet. You may change your mind.
You have time to have bigger dreams. Tell Stephen what you did for, even though you didn't get to go to an open call this year, tell him what
Yes.
you did for your application.
I had a really, really big idea, and perhaps it worked out well that they didn't come to Vancouver because I didn't know how I was going to transport it.
I constructed a vintage steam trunk for doll clothes, and I learned how to make edible clothes for doll clothes. And I created an entire scene that's very nostalgic for me. As a little girl, I would play with my grandmother's doll clothes steam trunk, and she ended up giving it to me. And she'd give me like little beads from broken necklaces and scraps from her sewing room. And I would pretend that I was dressing all of my dolls. And so I thought, why not construct this
Sounds so
vintage
cool.
steam trunk? And I did it. I mocked it out of foam core board, and obviously was limited by the size of half sheet pans, so I couldn't make it any bigger, but that's probably a good thing. And I chose gingerbread just because it's the strongest to
Hmm.
construct with, and a very sturdy royal icing. And so, yeah, inside the steam trunk, it also had wallpaper that had been weathered and had water damage. And so I decided to use wafer paper, and I gently sprayed it with some green dye. And then I glued it with Wilton Dab and Go on the inside. So the exterior was totally flooded in royal icing with deconstructed wallpaper on the inside, and all of the hardware was made out of gum paste. And yeah,
Mhm.
it all just kind of came together over a couple of weeks, and my husband
It-
had to smell the aromas and not be able to taste any of it. And
but after it was done, what did you do with it?
well, actually, I did end up transporting it downtown to my office. I didn't want to have all of that work done and not be able to show it off. So
Yeah.
my coworkers are super supportive, and they wanted to see it. So I brought it down. It took 5 trips down to my car to get it all down there. And luckily, the plywood that I had it mounted on fit in the car, but it went on display. People loved it. We're taking pictures of it. Actually, somebody even brought their kids in to look at it, which was awesome. And after a couple days, people wanted to eat it. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't think that people had a thing for stale gingerbread because I'd baked it. Like it had been baked for at least 2 weeks at that point. So, but rave reviews, people loved the gingerbread. And yeah, I was totally thrilled with how it came out. So I did film the
So awesome.
process. The
Yeah.
video's up, but
I will show that to you, Stephen, or I'll point you in her direction to make sure that you get a chance to
All
see it
right.
because yeah,
mhm.
it was fun to see it kind of coming together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was fun to
Yeah.
build. I love to construct anything, whether it's sewing or food
Yeah.
or whatever. I just yeah, super
Yeah.
inspired by big projects. So
It's awesome.
yeah,
So, how many times have you applied to be on a baking show?
this is only my second year. I have wanted to apply for many, many, many years, but life circumstances just haven't lined up with timing, or I've been able to kind of open up my life to making that the priority. But now I'm in the zone.
Yeah, it was the priority for sure. Well,
Yeah.
what first made you think, hey, maybe I could be on a baking show?
I'm obsessed with baking. The tent seems like a
That's a good
pretty good
reason.
place to be if you're obsessed with baking. I've loved the show since it started. I've been an avid watcher, and I think the warmth of that radiates off of the show, like I don't know how to describe it. Like I want to be a part of anything that's good and wholesome, and where people can come together as a community, raise each other up. Like I want to be a part of that. Please pick
Yeah.
me.
I wish we had any say. What was the hardest part for you of applying?
um, I think mm, it's not like showing up to an audition or anything like that. It's actually just being really thoughtful with the questions. I want to be able to give a full picture of my life. I'm an open book, but trying to also be as concise as possible.
Yeah.
I think
I know
I
that difficulty.
Yes, you
yeah,
do.
yeah, and just making sure that like my heart is behind my responses. And I don't know, I struggled with it the first year. It was much easier this year. So I think working out all the nerves too. It was just like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, but I think over time, like I've just become more confident with the process. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you seem to have really kind of come into yourself as to, okay, these are the things that I do. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what I do very, very well. And
Mhm.
um,
I think last year definitely helped with that. I've always been a pretty outgoing person. But I've really found my voice in the kitchen this past year, and that's like with developing my videos, and stop motion has just become the thing that I do.
yeah, it's so much
Um,
fun. Your videos are just so much fun to watch.
Thank you so much.
I can't even imagine how much time they take.
It honestly double the amount of a bake at least because I don't really even have a plan when I'm doing it. It's just kind of like, oh, like I can chop a carrot and make it look like it's exploded or things like that. Like it's just what is going to grab people's attention. So I kind of feel like having the challenge of trying to do something different for the audition also, it's that's the spark and that's what
Mhm.
excites me. So
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. What surprised you most about the experience of auditioning?
probably making as many friends as I did. I know we met at the
Yeah,
audition.
yes, yeah.
And the baking community being so warm. That I think that's the biggest surprise, but it's obviously a very welcome surprise.
Hmm.
And I feel like I've made some really great friends along the
Yeah,
way and everybody cheering and supporting for each other. So I think that's the biggest surprise for sure.
love it.
Mhm.
That's the biggest surprise for Stephen, I think, having been on the show,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. I mean,
And the best part of it, the absolute best part of it is the people, the community, everything.
Hmm. And the meetups because I follow a lot of people and like you're always just always all together. Like that's just the coolest thing.
yeah, that's true. They do get these little get-togethers that I get
Oh.
so jealous about. I mean, I've arranged a couple myself. I shouldn't say that because sometimes I'm like, hi. Like with Steven, I'm like, I'm coming into town and I want to meet a bunch of bakers. He's going to Toronto. And yeah, basically I talked to Steven and Vincent and Steven was like, Vincent has to do all the planning. And literally they planned a day for us to spend together and Steven came and picked me up at the place where I was staying. I opened the door and he's like, "You're real." I'm like, "You're telling me I'm real? Like, look at you. It's you. It's really you."
Legend.
Yeah, legend. But then they told me afterwards they had a little bit of a discussion about how scary it is to just randomly go pick up and spend a day with some rando off of Instagram that you've never met before. And I think there was some question about whether your ears were safe. Yeah. Yes. But I did not cut off their ears and
Okay.
we became good friends.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would
That's
say
awesome. I love it.
we're baking besties, that's for sure. Okay, what keeps you baking even without being on a TV show?
It's a big form of therapy for me. I can have I do have what can be a very stressful job sometimes and can be very long days.
Hmm.
And I, even after being completely depleted from being at the office, I can come home and still bake for 4 or 5 hours. It fuels me because usually I bake for others. I don't bake to eat myself. And
Hmm.
so if I'm tired and I'm run down, but I'm still sharing with people and I see their reaction of like, this is amazing, or like that one cookie turned my whole day around, like hearing those sorts of things really fuel my desire to bake. And I know
Hmm.
that a lot of people out there don't bake. And so it can be something as simple as a chocolate chip cookie, but it turns out to be something really special for someone else. So
Yeah, yeah,
mhm.
I love
So
that.
what is your favorite thing to bake?
I don't know if I have this thing. I've been really thinking hard about it, but I love to bake anything that gives the greatest yield so then I can share it with more people. So
Oh,
um, I I have a few things that I'm really good at baking. Become my signature. I have mastered macarons, which is something I'm really proud of. Um,
Never
amazing.
say that out loud. Never say it out loud.
I'm very confident in my macaron baking.
That's impressive to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it took a lot of work, but I'd say after about attempt number 7, that's when I was starting to see results. So yeah, I've just been playing around with lots of different flavors, but I'd say probably my number one most popular thing that people ask for and hope that I bring in are my Guinness cupcakes with Bailey's buttercream icing. So
Of course they do.
yeah. And St. Patty's Day is coming up, so it's the perfect time.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my absolute favorite things is that combination of like
Mhm.
a Guinness chocolate cake is just so, so good. But yours
It is.
isn't chocolate, is it? Or
Oh,
like a
it
Guinness?
is that there is
Yeah.
cocoa in it. Yeah. So chocolate Guinness, but
Mm.
I've just nailed it, and it's the cupcakes moist every time. Like I also use a ratio with some salted
Mm.
butter in the buttercream, and that kind of helps cut the sweetness of the cupcake itself, and
Yeah.
people
Oh,
love it. So I keep making it.
so good. I want one right now, actually.
Mhm. And I love Ireland. I can't wait to go back. It's one of my favorite places to visit. So
I've still never been there.
Me
gotta
neither.
get
What?
there.
It's high
No.
on my list too.
It's incredible. The
Yeah.
people are the friendliest people in the world, and the food is incredible because everything comes from there.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't care for Guinness itself, but Guinness in a cake form with
Absolutely.
chocolate, like, and the amount of moisture and
Mhm.
lightness and fluffiness that it brings is just so decadent.
It
Oh,
is. Yeah. No, I love it. I might
good.
have to get baking now.
Yeah, no kidding. We're inspired. I'm like, okay, bye. We should bake together one of these days.
Absolutely. I would love it.
That would be so
You're
much fun.
welcome here anytime.
Okay, good to know.
I've never had a Guinness chocolate cake, never tasted it. But
You need
since
to
since
come.
they're opening all the bars at 8 a.m. tomorrow in Ontario for the hockey game,
Oh,
maybe I can
right.
just run in quickly, grab a Guinness, leave, and I can come home and bake a cake while I'm watching the hockey game.
Absolutely.
I will
Yeah.
tell you that the 0% Guinness that you can buy at Walmart works just as well in
Okay.
a
Oh,
Guinness chocolate cake
All
as
right.
the expensive actual Guinness.
that's good to know,
Good to
actually,
know.
because I've
Yeah.
had a
Well,
few
because the alcohol.
people who
Yeah.
have not wanted to take it just
Yeah.
due to the alcohol content. So that's actually a great idea. I really appreciate that tip. Thank you.
Oh, yay! Well, this is what the baking family is all about.
Yay.
Sharing these tips and tricks. All right, what would you say to someone who wants to apply to be on a baking show but feels intimidated?
Life is too short. You just got to do it. Like world events lately have made me really reflective. And I think we have to take whatever shot that we have to do what makes us happy. And if that means applying for the show, like just go ahead and do it. Like it's a couple questions on an application form, like and film a video of yourself. Like you might be absolutely terrified to do it, but like write some notes down on the things that you want to say and just put yourself out there. You never know what will happen, but I believe in you. You can do it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it can be really scary to put yourself out there and just
Mhm,
be like, okay, this is who I am, and be vulnerable in that way
mhm,
and hope that somebody likes something that you're bringing enough
mhm.
to want to see more, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's
Scary.
an incredibly supportive community as I've discovered over the past year, and we welcome all. So please join.
Love it. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. You went to Edmonton
I
to
did.
audition
Yes.
for the Great Canadian Baking Show this year.
Yes, I did.
Is this your first time auditioning?
It is my second time. I
Okay.
auditioned last year in Vancouver. I made the most beautiful cake, but I was so anxious. So I really let my nerves get the best of me. And then over the past year, I spent like the full year focusing on just getting better at speaking to people and practicing with my husband. My husband is actually a professional speaker.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like the complete opposite. So I was like, you have to work with me and get me there. So I did a lot better at this year's audition.
That's awesome.
It was a lot more natural. I was a lot less anxious, and I think the audition went really well.
So you do not live in Edmonton?
No, I
No.
live in Port Coquitlam, BC, and I challenged myself. I made a two-tier cake, and I flew with it.
You had a
So
seat on the
I
plane.
had a seat on the plane. Yeah, so
Wow.
basically everything had to be perfect. So perfectly level cake, doweled correctly. Just there's a process, as you probably know,
Yes.
to make it go smoothly. And I worked on it so hard, and I got it there. So we flew out of Abbotsford.
Mm-hmm.
And we went through a giant pothole on the way to the airport. A giant pothole. Blew the tire, actually. But my cake survived. So that was the structure of my cake was really, really good. My cake survived. So we got to the airport, and so I had the cake in a box, and then it was inside a cooler. And they took my ice away. They said, you can't bring ice.
Yeah,
So
it's security. They're
So,
like,
well,
no ice.
what I had Googled beforehand that you can bring ice through security as long as it's frozen solid when you get there. But they said no. So they threw my ice away. So I sealed the cooler up and convinced them not to put it through the conveyor belt. And so they did a hand scan, and then I sealed it up, and we flew to Edmonton with it on a seat, and we had a seat belt around the cake. And yeah, it made it, and we got to the hotel, and it was still actually cold, so it was perfect. And I had a hotel with a full-size fridge, and just popped it in there. And yeah, I know I was so anxious, it was so stressful, but yeah, it worked out. And it was worth the risk.
That's amazing.
That is more than just the extra
nerve-wracking.
mile. That's like the extra 100 miles.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what first made you think, okay, I think I have what it takes to be on a baking show?
So I've actually been baking for about 17 years.
Wow.
I just find so much joy in baking. I I do it almost every single day of my life. If I don't have an order, I'm baking something for my family. It's how I show that I love people. I bake for them. It just brings me a lot of happiness, and yeah, so I wanted to try out for the show because I want to be a part of that community. I feel uh like when I was younger, I used to do musical theater, and we were all like a big family, right? And you come together, and it's just I want to be a part of the baking community.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
and
that. That's
with
so
other
good.
people that love doing the same thing that I do.
Yeah.
I even I actually traveled all over the place last year to learn all these different buttercream florals. And I just love being in a classroom with other people who love the same thing that I do. Yeah. So
That must have been amazing.
it was. So I went to New York, and I
Wow.
learned the Korean buttercream flour technique. And then I went to Virginia Beach, and I learned wafer paper flours with this amazing teacher who actually flew in from Poland. It was an amazing class. I went down to Texas, and I learned from Julian Angel. He's an amazing cake artist. You have to look him up if you don't know who he is. He's just those most beautiful cakes. And he also went down to California, and they learned from the Lila Cake Shop. And I just been focusing all year on just improving my florals, and everything I do. I don't know if you noticed on my Instagram, but everything I do has a flower on it.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So he was looking at your Instagram and he said,
Yes.
look at all these florals.
It's all flowers. If there's no flower on it, I won't do it. I like if people message me for a cake, I'm like, well, I only do florals. So
Wow.
yeah.
So is that because like you just decided this was going to be what you specialize in? This is
So,
your
well,
signature?
here's the thing. I actually hate flowers. I hate gardening. I don't like when people bring me flowers. I like they die, they make a mess, they drive me crazy. But give me a piping bag, and I'll make like a huge garden, beautiful garden of flowers. And I love that type of flowers.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And it just became something that I really love doing, and it looks beautiful when it's done. And I was like, the more I got into it and focused on it, the more I wanted to do just that.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite technique for florals?
I prefer I learned from the Lila Cake Shop. She has an online course called, I think it's called the Buttercream Garden.
Okay.
And those are my favorite flowers to pipe. The Korean ones are a very, very high level of difficulty. So
Is that palette with palette knife, or is
no,
all piping?
I have learned the palette knife as well. The Korean is with piping tips, but it is so difficult. It's a very extreme level of difficulty, and I'm still working on those ones. So Yeah, so I hope to keep working on those, and then I'm gonna go back to New York and do the advanced class eventually. But it you pretty much have to practice every day for a year before you get good at
Wow.
it. So it's still a work in progress. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's some dedication.
it
Like
is. Yeah, yeah,
you must have some good frequent flyer miles or
yeah,
a good points card.
yeah. I have the WestJet card.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like the WestJet card for that. Okay, so what was the hardest part? I guess the hardest part was of applying and auditioning was transporting your
Getting the cake
cake.
there. Yeah.
But when you were there, what did anything surprise you about the audition process?
I loved it actually. I loved meeting the producers. They were so nice. And I loved sharing my cake with them, and they said it tasted amazing. And I was really proud of the flavors I brought. I brought a lavender flavor, which was also really risky because it had fresh whipped cream in the cake. And so now I'm like
Had
also
to stay cold.
flying with a fresh whipped cream cake. But it was worth it because that was my favorite flavor, and they loved it, and it made it there in one piece, so it was perfect. I've always loved baking. Even since I was like a little girl, I used to make up recipes. I'd make up like peanut butter and jam cookies in the kitchen, or I would bake with my grandma. My grandma used to bake every Saturday. She had a whole bunch of grandkids and kids, and we would just bake a big table full of pierogies and treats, and yeah, it was amazing.
And what is it that keeps you baking, even if you don't get on the show this year?
Yeah, even if I don't get on the show this year, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna focus and bigger and better next year.
Yeah,
Just keep working at it.
I
Yeah.
love it. So you
Yeah.
plan to keep applying.
I'm gonna keep applying. Yep. Yeah.
Love it.
Because I love doing all types of baking, not just cakes.
Mhm.
I make macarons, cookies, bars, cream puffs, eclairs, like everything. I love doing all of it.
Besides cakes, then you've
Yeah.
named all the. What would your favorite thing to make be?
Um, I like the cream puffs and eclairs. My daughter just loves those. She begs me to make those. So I actually went to I think it's called the Northwest Culinary Academy. I didn't do a pastry chef program. I just did a 6-week pastry program where we learned how to make them, and that's probably my second favorite thing to make.
Wow, like you
Yeah.
have a lot of education in baking.
I do, yes.
Wow.
Yes. I've worked really, really hard, like extremely hard. I never give up. I just keep going, keep trying. I can do more. I can always get better. And every day I focus on it. Every day I'm trying something new, trying to get better. And you
Yeah.
learn, you make so many mistakes and you learn along the way, right? Like I feel like
Yeah.
baking is just trial and error, and you learn from, okay, I messed that up today, so tomorrow I'm gonna do this. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This is what is the fail is first attempt in learning. That's what
Yes.
people have said.
Yes.
Yeah. And we can never look at it as a failure, but just as, yeah, okay, this is
No.
one step on the road toward becoming really good at this.
Yes, we
Yeah.
learn very little when we have success.
Yeah,
The
that's
only
true.
thing you learn is how to succeed,
Yes.
or how to take it. You know, it's like someone who wins. You got to learn
Yeah.
to be a good winner, but yeah,
Yeah.
Says the winner.
Yeah.
but once, right? So
Yeah, you had to be
I didn't put in my first cake and it came out beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
true, I
And
guess, from
and I
what you
still
told
have
me.
lots and lots of failures going along.
Yeah,
And they're just learning experiences, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My first cakes, if you look back at my first cakes, they are hideous. They are so bad. It took years to make a beautiful
Yeah.
cake.
Mhm.
Years and years and years.
But
It's
when,
not
but when you
as easy as it looks.
no. And when you
True.
look back, though, you think to yourself, I remember doing that and thinking, wow, I was so proud of it back
Yeah.
then. But
Yeah.
now, with these eyes looking back, it's a whole different ballgame. And I do that all the time.
Yeah.
What made you think, hey, I could do this? I could be on a baking show.
You know what? It's one of these things like when I see something and like my instinct is like, oh, maybe I should try that. Before even thinking about it too much, I've already like registered or signed up for something or just like this.
Yeah, you and Stephen would get along really well, I think.
Is that
That's the
right?
way you got to do it.
Yeah. So, and then it's later I start thinking, I'm like, oh, oh, what did I have I done?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? You can talk yourself out of it if you give yourself
Exactly.
any time, right? So
For
yeah,
sure.
jump to it. Just go for
Yeah.
it and do it. How did you get started in baking?
So, you know what? I guess I have been like dabbling in it for a long, long time, but just got more serious. I think it was like one weekend we had tried some baking from a really known bakery in the city, and what I ate was like I think it was a cupcake or something. Anyways, it was like kind of like man. So I was like, you know what? Huh? And I was looking for another creative outlet because I had been scrapbooking and kind of was over doing that. Felt like doing something else. Anyways, and then it was like, oh, well, you know what? Why don't I try like getting more serious into baking? I was like, I admit maybe I can try and make that better, you know? So then I just, yeah, kind of took off from there and tried just tweaking things here and there and getting people to try them. And yeah, and just kind of kept going.
And how long ago was that?
I think about 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now you are you making kind of a business out of your baking?
You know what? It's like people that family and friends kind of thing, like
Yeah.
people that know. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I know that you know what I have to offer, if you're interested and you ask me and the timing is right, then then it works, that kind of
Yes.
thing. Because I have a day job, so
Hmm.
that's yeah, that takes a lot of time. But yeah, hey, if I'm available and I can do it, then yeah, I like to kind of go for it.
Challenge yourself with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What are your favorite things to bake?
You know what? That's a good question. It's kind of evolved, I think. Like I kind of used to really more like to do like cupcakes and cakes I find are stressful. I like to challenge myself with doing them, but I find them to be challenging. But lately it's been focaccia.
Oh,
That's been, yeah, just,
yum.
yeah, kind of breads, right? You can't really go wrong. I think like most people, sometimes sweets, not everybody, but I don't know, breads usually kind of is a hit.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to eat, yeah, the
Mhm.
breads. I would agree with that. Yeah, except for Stephen's wife, apparently, who,
Oh,
Oh,
is
she
that
likes
right? Yeah.
well,
oh she
she likes
likes
to eat it,
bread.
but she doesn't like the smell of it first thing in the
Oh,
morning,
Not first thing in the
apparently.
morning. Not first thing in the
oh,
morning. Yeah.
okay. Is it something to do like with the yeast or you don't
She's
know?
like, don't bother me, I'm
Oh,
sleeping.
No,
oh,
none of that while
maybe.
you're sleeping. Nope. Yeah.
It
Nothing
smells too
sensory.
good. You're right. Don't wake me up, kind of thing. Okay.
All right. So, what was the hardest part of applying or auditioning?
Hmm. Probably the interview, like which kind of like what
Like
we're
right
doing
now?
right now. I find it very nerve wracking when I have to actually like see myself on a monitor or see
Hmm.
myself back. Not that I get to see that, but I can just things going around in my head thinking about what my expressions I'm making and
Totally.
what movement, whatever gestures I'm doing. So that's probably was is the most stressful part. Mhm.
Yeah. I guess it would be quite nerve-wracking then to actually get on the show and see yourself on
Yes,
TV.
definitely. I'm thinking that they have a whole thing to kind of get you calm enough to do what you need to do. I don't know. Maybe yeah. Steven can tell us
Stephen's
about
just like, ah.
that.
No.
No, it's just like once you're in, yeah, you just
You
got
know
to
what?
do it.
You're baking, and so you're not
Yeah.
thinking about anything
Right.
else.
You're focused.
You're
You
just
have to, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
After the first little while, I think, because in the beginning, I'm sure you're much more aware of cameras being on you
Right.
and all that.
I mean,
And
everyone
then,
reacts differently for sure.
For
mhm,
But
sure.
and you see them and the producers are there and there's a time ticking and Ann and Alan are
Right.
running around and but
Yeah.
at the end of it all, right, you know you've got a time limit to make what you
Right.
practiced and you better do
Yes.
it and you're
That's
hyper
right.
focused on that. So you're not
Yeah.
thinking you're not thinking about any expressions or even what
Right.
you're saying half the
No,
time
no.
or
yeah,
you're
Yeah.
liberating.
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah. It just comes into a different place, I guess, right?
Yeah.
As you go through that process. Yeah. That makes sense.
yes, I would think so.
Mm.
So do you bake to a time limit now?
No.
Good for you.
Actually,
Do it. Don't
Never.
yeah, it's funny because I like to stretch things out, like especially if it's a cake or something. Like I'm big on freezing things, right? So I'll
Hmm.
bake part of it, I'll bake the cakes or whatever, and I'll even freeze, yeah, any parts that I can do ahead of time. Yeah, I do. So yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but fun. I mean, it's a
yeah,
challenge. I don't
for
know.
sure, for
You
sure.
seem to be interested in jumping at a challenge. So
It seems, yeah, like that's yeah,
it's one
that's
of the things.
obviously one of the things, right?
Terrifying and exciting all at the same
Exactly,
time, right? Yeah.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what I was asked during the live the open call on camera with
Mhm.
Meredith, and she was like,
Right.
well, how, what do you think would be your favorite part? And I said, I just really am looking forward to doing the technical bakes. And she was like,
Okay.
the technical bakes, really? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's so exciting. And
Mhm.
and she was like, really? Most people will
Yeah.
find it terrifying. I'm like, oh yeah, terrifying
Yeah.
and exciting.
And
She's like, well, how
exciting.
how can something be terrifying and exciting at the same time? I'm like, look, I've had 3 kids. I've
Yes.
been
Yes.
pregnant 3 times. I know
Right.
what it's like to be
Yeah.
terrified and excited
Right.
at the
Of
exact
course.
same
Yeah. I think that goes hand in hand a lot of times, right? We, depending on
time.
where we take our nerves, is it like, use it to something positive and put your energy into that, or, take it to a not so great place. So yeah,
Right.
I think that
Yeah.
goes hand in hand with many of things. Mhm.
Definitely, definitely. So, yes, I think that's the whole process of auditioning for any kind of baking show or putting yourself
Sure.
out there in any
Exactly.
way. It's
Yeah.
exciting because of the possibilities, and it's terrifying because you're stretching yourself.
Of
You're doing
course.
something a little bit different.
Yes.
Um, Stephen, did you say
Yes,
something?
I didn't.
Are you going to?
Now he has
Now you
to.
have to.
So you're familiar with the show, obviously.
Yes. Yes. I
So
haven't watched oh, sorry. Go ahead.
but so what would be the most exciting part? Lisa said the technical. So
Right.
what would be the most exciting part for you of the three challenges that they do every
You
week?
know what? I didn't even say the challenges, but I guess the signature, if I had to pick that, when Meredith asked me about the most exciting thing, or what I like, however she worded it, I think, yeah, what I liked most about trying out for the show and coming on the show was, I said, the camaraderie with the other contestants, with the other bakers. I thought that, I don't know, that's intriguing to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
these people coming all together like that, have a commonality and something that they love to do. And
Mhm.
yeah, just to learn, and the human part of things. I
Yeah.
really like the human part of
It
anything.
it is the best part.
Yeah.
It's something I didn't even consider,
Right.
and I walked away from it thinking, wow, screw the baking.
Yeah.
This was what it was about. I mean,
Right.
not
All
really
these
screw the
people.
baking, but
No, no, but yeah, no, I hear it. Especially not thinking about that ahead of time, as you said. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can just tell, like, you can just tell, and people have said, right. And as you're saying, so yeah, then I think that's a really, really unique.
I mean,
Yeah.
you end up in like a 2 hour long conversation about butter with someone.
Right, right.
You realize, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was missing my people, but now I have found them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And especially with a reality show, right? Because I think, like, as and many others, like, I don't know. I mean, of course it's a competition, but I don't know. It's just different. Bakers are just, it just seems like you're still, all in all, friendly and kind
Yeah.
Yeah.
and heartfelt to one another. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've
It's
always maintained that in this particular one, especially because
Mhm.
there's really no prize.
Right, right,
The only
right,
competition you're having is with yourself.
right.
And that's why there is camaraderie, and that's why everyone wants everyone else to succeed, and
Sure.
and if you can, you want to help them.
Yeah.
I don't want to, it wouldn't be that, if I win, I want to win because everyone else on that day did the best bake they ever did. I don't want it
Right.
to be because everyone had a lousy day,
For
right?
sure. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what makes that show and many of the baking shows unique.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
much support of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that they have open auditions. I mean, that didn't exist when I was applying.
That's
Okay.
true.
And it's just so nice to, because I've been able to go to them as an alumni
Right.
and hang out and to see all those people getting together. And, there are the moments, whether it's before you present your bake or afterwards, after you've done your video,
Yeah.
where the people who are coming to apply, not only do they get to go through the process and they get to speak to producers and get actual real feedback, and they get to ask questions, and you get to go on camera and kind of see what that feels like, but to be able to talk to everyone else there
Right.
Hmm.
and make friendships and gain experiences, and that
Yeah.
it's I get such a kick out of going because
Mhm.
I love. Now I've gone a couple of years in a row, so I've gotten to see some of the same people year upon year,
Yeah.
and just seeing familiar faces, seeing new faces, and seeing what people do. And I'm just, every time I go, it's the same thing. Like, wow, I am glad I did not have to bake against you.
Right. Right. I guess
Humility.
everyone could feel, yeah, right? That's right. Humility.
Yeah.
Everyone could feel it at certain points, right? For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of the imposter syndrome, and having interviewed so many people who have being on different baking shows, that's pretty universal that people come in there with this feeling of, holy cow, would you look at the caliber of bakers and
Right.
what am I doing here?
Exactly.
But then being able to really recognize, okay, yeah, maybe I do belong here. Maybe I, you know, can challenge myself and be able
Right.
to come out of this with, just so much more knowledge and talent and, well,
Sure.
talent, I guess, is inherent, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
more
Yeah.
knowledge about what to do.
Yeah, everybody has something to bring, right?
So
Depending
true.
on whatever the show's looking for or whatever the case is, right?
Yes.
Whether it's yeah, it's all unique to the person and the experience and yeah,
That's so true.
yeah.
Well, is that what you would say to somebody who wants to apply but is feeling
Definitely.
intimidated?
Yes, yes, I would for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, I have so much to learn. Yes, I've learned things over time, but oh my goodness, there's things on the show that they make that I'm like, okay, I don't think I know what that is.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
like to admit it, but it's like, okay, maybe I should learn what that is. But yeah, so yeah, why not? If you enjoy baking at all, go for it. What the heck? Hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, what keeps you baking even without being on TV?
I think feeding people in my family, I
That's
think I've
kind of
spoiled them.
important.
Like I see with the focaccia, I mean, my one of my daughters, it's like, okay, well, I know that if I give you this for lunch, you will eat it. So,
Right.
and and that kind of thing. And it's just, yeah, other things like, you buy from other places or the grocery store, even the baking. And it's like, when you've had like homemade, it just doesn't measure up. So
It's so
that's
true.
a big part of it, actually. Yeah. Trying
No
to keep it
Lunchables for your
down.
family.
Right. Well, it's cute because I'll make like focaccia with like a pizza kind of version or like a cinnamon sugar version,
Oh,
like
nice.
in like a muffin tin. Yeah. And my daughter will be like, oh, I don't need the pizza ones. Just give me the cinnamon sugar ones. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, trying to get, a little bit of something in you at lunch hour. But anyways, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
definitely, yeah. And that would be the reason I would say, yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, what do you hope to get out of the experience of having auditioned and applied,
Um,
besides being on the show?
Besides the show, well, I guess it would be fantastic even to just get to the next like part of the process, like whatever
Mhm.
that is, just something else.
Right.
Never get rid of the optimism. Always go in there, believing that you can. And if they don't reply, or if they say no, you'll know if you're a good baker or not. And it's most of the time they don't take you. It has nothing to do with your baking. It has to do
Right.
with they're casting a show.
Right.
Mm,
Yes.
yes. Did you apply for a baking show this year?
Not this year. It was actually 2020 during the
Okay.
pandemic. I
Right.
thought, okay, I love to bake. My favorite show is the Great Canadian Baking Show. I wonder if I should apply. My husband said,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, definitely. You're a great baker,
Yeah.
He says, but your sugar work is pretty poor. But, hey.
Well, he's honest.
Yeah.
That's good. Constructive criticism is very helpful.
Absolutely. And so I did. And when I pushed that button to submit, I had a not a panic attack, but I thought, oh my God, what have I just done?
Mhm.
I wanted to be their first blind baker. I thought it would be a different perspective to baking, and it's not something you see very often because blindness is a spectrum, and people see it as black and white. So we're
Mhm.
completely blind, but it's not the case. It's only 5 to 10% of us that have complete blindness. I have a very narrow tunnel vision, and it's like
Mm.
looking through a straw. So that was my panic. Was if I got chosen, that means I have to rush there to the fridge and go to all these different things. And I thought, well, I wonder if there would be provisions made, like
Mhm.
because I wear hearing aids as well. Deaf blindness. I thought if somebody could talk to me in my hearing aids, saying, "Hey, the wooden spoon to your left," and then
Right.
if it was my husband, he would say the other left.
Oh.
Because I always get, oh. But yeah, he was actually my guide running when we used to run marathon together, and
Oh.
that's how we met was through running. He's from the UK, so he loves sweets. And so a perfect pair made in heaven, really. I grew up with a Dutch Italian background. I consider myself an Italian cook with a Dutch baker
Gotcha.
because the Dutch knows how to bake.
Oh,
And
yes, we do.
boy, yes. Oh, are you Dutch?
Mom's
Yeah, she
Dutch,
is.
yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So,
I'll just
yeah.
sit back while the two of you chat.
So yeah, my mom was, oh my gosh, she was such a good baker. And she used to make me stand beside her and say, you got to learn how to make this, you know. So I would make Italian cream, you know, all these rich buttercreams that she used. There was no such thing as margarine in baking.
Right, yeah.
Tui, tui. I do not like margarine. And in school, I took every opportunity to take home ec. That was what it was called back then.
Hmm.
And we had this one teacher. She was very scientific and she was high-pitched voice, and you know, she was like everything was just precise. And if you don't scrape off your flour properly, you get a tap on the hand kind of thing. So it was like we became very disciplined bakers.
No kidding.
But I actually, that was a good thing because I understand the importance of, you know, don't cramp all the flour in your cup. You know, you gotta, you know, all these scientific rules with baking soda and salt and all that, you know, play a big role in your baking. So that was a
Yeah.
good thing to learn the old-fashioned way. And I've always loved baking. I challenged myself during the shows, and each season I would try to challenge myself in certain things. And bagels and stroopwafels, which I still haven't made.
I tried making them and they're very hard.
Yes.
I don't like having to split them in half.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So I didn't want to. That's what scares me too, is because they're so thin, and
They're so thin. Yeah.
and delicate to work with, and you have to work quickly. And when I saw that on the show, and I could just see the nerves rattled by all the bakers, you know,
Oh
I thought,
yeah.
maybe I'll stay away from that one. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
I love the challenges, and
Oh, it's so much
I
fun.
have tried many different baking techniques that I've never done before. So once I met Bruno in Nanaimo. He was doing a book signing thing, and of course I have his book, and of course we had to take the drive down to Nanaimo to get it signed. And he did encourage me to keep reapplying until I get on. But my problem is what I have is progressive, so my vision got a lot worse. And
Right.
I would love to be on that show. I really would. I still bake to my
Yeah.
heart's content. I bake every week making bread and bake my own pizzas. You know, I don't believe in ready-made stuff. I like everything made homemade, the syrups and, you know, the preserves and
I love it.
custards and all that stuff. So
Ugh, what's the best?
but I don't know if we should keep eating all this good stuff.
I mean, you only live once, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it could be a short one.
Well, you don't have to eat it 3 meals a day, but you have to eat it. You have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the joy of baking is just, being in the kitchen, being able to create and then being able to serve it to people and to say, "Hey, this is how I tell you I love you," is by making these things for you,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Did the show contact you after you hit send on the application?
No.
Oh.
Oh, I know. But when I look back, I did that, you know, because it was during the pandemic and they did the video where you have to, I was like, what the heck do I say? You know,
Right.
because no one's interviewing you to, you know,
Prompt you, yeah.
so I said, I want the platter, obviously.
What you're saying is it's the relationships that have come out of this baking community and the family of all these people who are so interested in being connected through baking. Yeah. So what would you say to someone who might want to apply to be on a baking show but feels intimidated?
Definitely apply anyway. You know, I even thought about applying again, but definitely give it a try. You know, don't let the things hinder you, you know, like for me with my vision. I shouldn't let that hinder me from reapplying,
Yeah.
because I'm always finding new ways of adaptations in the kitchen.
Hmm.
I do strange things in the kitchen. They're going like, what is she doing? But this is how I do it because this is how I see. So it
Yes.
it's a challenge, and I think it's a worthwhile experience to go through,
Hmm.
even if it's just as far as the application part, because it gets your excitement and passion going, and then you realize maybe that dream might come true, you just never know. Because when I see every season the winner and the joy on their faces, it's like that to me gives me joy. It's such an emotional show for me.
Hmm.
It really is, because I feel so connected to all these bakers. I understand their failures and their successes, in their bakings. I really do. And yeah, it's we're all the same that way, you
Hmm.
know.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and
is so
I
true.
and go for it. Why not?
Okay, so Rose, I'm going to say one thing to you right now.
Okay.
Applications close tomorrow.
Oh, don't put that pressure on me.
I'm just saying,
It's just a questionnaire.
it's just a
It's just
quick
a
application.
questionnaire.
Take your own
If
advice.
I'm just throwing it out there that
Yeah.
it might be worth taking another shot,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not pushing, I'm not pressuring, I'm just
Yeah.
suggesting. But
Yeah.
I just am saying that it would be inspirational for people to be able to see you. And I mean, certainly I believe you're up to the challenge. And I also feel like um, they would do everything that they could to accommodate you. So just thinking out loud and
Okay,
saying
well,
it's
maybe,
worth a shot,
Doesn't
maybe.
cost anything to apply.
Okay.
right?
No, that's right. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe I will.
I feel like if there's any question, just do it. And if it doesn't work out, you can always say, well, no, I can't do it. But you've
That's
tried.
true. I could do that. I could
Yeah.
do that. I could absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
Just encouragement. That's all.
Okay. I'll take that as encouragement.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what it is. Thank you to all of these fabulous bakers for joining us today and talking to us about what baking shows have meant to your life and how your life has changed because of even just applying to them or thinking about applying to them, and the baking community that we truly have. But please remember that being on a baking show does not make you a baker. You are bakers, and we are so, so proud to know you. And I'm really excited to tell everyone that after we finished recording, Rose went and applied for season 10 of the Great Canadian Baking Show. I'm really proud of you, Rose, and I'm excited to see where you go. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Well, that was the best surprise ever.
It's a
I
long
should be
surprise.
going away more often. Look at
No,
this
please don't.
creative genius.
I can't do that much editing every single time you go away. This is why
No
we
worries.
don't edit our podcasts, generally speaking, because my fingers, I had to do it on the phone, and my fingers are just like, ugh.
Oh, and your
Yeah.
eyeballs too.
Eyeballs are a little bit wonky,
Oh,
but
I
that's all
can only
good.
imagine. Well, I loved every single moment of that. And I love that you were able to bring Stephen Levitt on as well. Obviously, a dear friend of ours
Mhm.
on Baking Scraps and outside of Baking Scraps. I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
who doesn't love Stephen?
And now more people know him, which is
Yeah, for
pretty
sure,
exciting.
which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Mhm.
And it's so nice to actually get to know these bakers that you've brought on as well. I think it's so wonderful that we were able to share a bit of their stories. What how they
Got started and
right, and why baking is their passion, and again, like we talk a lot about this, but it's about building that community
Mhm.
and having those great conversations and having for us, this platform that just hopefully spreads some joy and
Mhm.
inspires people and gets people to get out of their comfort zones and
Yeah.
take those chances for applying for baking shows,
Do the thing.
or just baking something new. And I
Mhm.
think that's a real cool thing about we do here. And it's really
Yeah.
cool that you were able to share those fabulous stories with all of us.
Thank you. It was really fun for me, especially being able to talk, in person to the people that I've been talking to on Instagram for a long time.
Right.
Like Josh,
Yeah,
I've been talking to him probably 5 years now that we
for
have been,
sure. Right.
back
Same.
and forth. And so, whoops. Sorry, my headset keeps bonking the microphone. And so it's always awesome when you get that opportunity to get to know a little bit more than just what you see in the and on the screen, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Abs
the texting screen or the Instagram page.
the
And
that fleeting conversation that you have with them every so often when
yeah,
they've posted and engaging
yes.
on their Instagram sites or on Facebook or
Yeah.
what have you. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Just so
bakers behind
wonderful.
the bake.
Yeah, and it's wonderful to actually hear them and have those conversations. I feel like I've totally missed out. So hopefully we can do this again.
We'll do it
And
again and we'll have you be the actual host because
oh,
you're the host of the baking scraps. So
well, I think we're
co-hosts.
co-hosts.
We
No?
are
Yeah.
co-hosts.
Yeah.
Well, I was
No,
there, but I meant, if I had my co-host with me. Steven does a pretty good job standing in, but
Steven.
it doesn't
Yeah.
feel right without you here.
I remember him at one point, coercing with Vincent that they were going to take over the baking scraps.
Yeah, good luck with
So
that,
did you just give
boys.
him another opening in?
No, I've
Which I
I've
totally
got all
be
the
cool
editing
with.
software. You'd be cool with him taking over?
Well, I mean, he could take over for me. Probably more people are interested in hearing from him than me.
Okay.
Just
Well,
saying.
I mean,
I mean,
season 4 just started, so let's do the season and then we'll see how we feel at the end of that. Maybe we'll hand
or
over
we
the
could
reins
have,
to the
or we
boys.
could have different rotating co-hosts.
Okay, I don't know if this is a thing. Maybe, but we can talk about this off camera.
Maybe this is something else that you need to edit out.
Yeah, maybe. I won't. You know I won't. I'm done editing for the day.
Oh,
Anyway,
dang.
welcome
Dang.
home.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
glad your
you.
jet lag is feeling better.
Yes, it was
And
nasty this trip, but
yeah,
I am
I'm
not
so sorry.
complaining.
Nope, you got a trip. It was good.
So,
And
exactly.
and you got a present from me.
Yes, thank you very much. That was the coolest thing to come back to, and
Oh,
I am so happy and thrilled that you got a chance to connect up with these wonderful people from across the country, and I can't wait to see them on some baking shows, hopefully.
yes, fingers crossed. All right, until next time, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and happy
Happy
baking.
baking.
What would you say to someone who wants to apply for a baking show but feels intimidated?
Do it. I'll be Nike here. Just do it.
Well, obviously you should do it.
Just do it.
Why not? If you enjoy baking at all, go for it. What the heck?
Life is too short. You just got to do it.
Give it a try. Don't let things hinder you.
I say go for it.
Because really, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. Or
Mhm.
they're not even going to say anything. And that's totally okay. Just have fun.
It wasn't intimidating and it wasn't scary. I thought it would be. I pushed myself into it. It was a great experience and I'm really glad that I did push myself to go way, way out of my comfort zone.
Everybody has something to bring, right? Depending on whatever the show's looking for.
We have to take whatever shot that we have to do what makes us happy.
It's a worthwhile experience to go through. It gets your excitement and passion going.
It's a couple questions on an application form.
I wouldn't have this baking community if it wasn't for me applying for these shows.
And film a video of yourself. Like, you might be absolutely terrified to do it, but you never know what will happen.
Bakers all want to nerd out on baking.
If I never make it on the show, I still have these friends all over Canada. I get to just nerd out and talk about baking.
So if nothing else comes from it, at least I did that and I have this experience that I never otherwise would have had.
I went last year, so nervous, I was shaking, I didn't know what to do with my hands, and like, it was just practice for this year.
See it as like a learning experience, a reason to practice baking.
And if I don't make it on this year, then next year.
And then you realize maybe that dream might come true, you know? You just never know.
Of course it's gonna happen. You're gonna end up on a baking show.
I believe in you. You can do it.